like
So-
look this way.
Happy Mukbang Valentine's birthday.
Wait, how did your friend say to pronounce it? Is it mukbang or
Mukbang.
is it mukbang?
No, it's mukbang.
Well, I have a Filipino friend.
Oh,
Oh,
how'd she say to pronounce it?
I didn't ask her.
Oh.
I thought you didn't.
No.
Okay, well,
It's if you look on YouTube long enough.
whatevs.
So we've got Noodle House food and Hajime food and Oishi Bakery, and we went to Sweet Monster for drinks. We haven't been there in a long time. These guys are always bugging me to go, and
Yeah,
I'm like, hey, it's
they
too
used to
sweet.
have. They used to have this thing on the menu called strawberry fresh milk or something. And I tried to ask for that, but they were like, "Oh, are you asking for like a strawberry and a milkshake?" And I was like, "No, it was more like a milk tea." And they were like, "Oh, we have strawberry milk tea." And I was like, "Does it have those like strawberry popping pearls?" And I don't think they have what they used to have on the menu anymore, but this is really good. So
Oh, are you
not
talking about?
complaining.
Are you talking about the one that I usually get you?
It's like a pinky. That's what it's
The
called.
pinky strawberry is what it was called.
Oh, it's not on the menu.
Yeah, it's like not on the screen.
Yeah.
Maybe they got rid of it.
Possibly, or it might be behind the menu kind of
Yeah.
item, because that's what it was like for me for a while when I went to go order, because they didn't have it up there. You would have to say pinky strawberry.
Well, next time I'll say that and see if it is different.
Yeah. So we did a Q&A and got a whole bunch of questions. And the very first question was, a what? So a mukbang is just a smorgasbord of food and sit down question and answer, and we talk like we're having dinner with you.
Yeah,
So-
if I do say what a traditional mukbang is, though, is that how they usually have it set it up is where the camera is more set at an angle,
Yeah,
so that it's more focused on
the
the
food.
food. And makes the food look bigger, so it looks like they're eating larger portions
Yeah,
than
so
they
some
are.
people will have like a mini table on top of their table, and it would be right under the camera there, and the food would be like right next to the camera. So like this spring roll
So the food
would look the size
huge.
of my head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put that on my plate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, and then they usually sit way down so they
Yeah.
make themselves look small.
You should-
access to the food.
Yeah, you should look up.
Yeah, look up Korean
kinds of
mukbang. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mukbang.
there is a very bizarre, unique variety of different mukbangs, but I guess this is ours where we just have a bunch of food and answer your questions.
Right. Yeah.
Dogs are at the table.
She
So
just
we're gonna
wants
start
attention.
eating. So
You're going to take your spring
You
roll.
cannot have my spring roll.
yeah, the Mary can't have avocado. She's allergic to it, so she's got her salmon roll here.
Yay.
And then I don't know if there's avocado in here. This is the Philadelphia roll, Mary.
Yeah, there is.
So
It looks like
it doesn't. I don't know. Is that cucumber or is it avocado?
Let me look closer.
I don't know. Let me grab one and dissect it, I guess, like Mary does.
It looks like an avocado, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't reach that far.
Doesn't look like it.
Oh my gosh, that crunch roll is huge.
Oh, you lost a piece of it.
I lost it.
This is my
Oh, that's a
favorite.
different one.
What is it?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
no,
I'm taking that one.
mine fell apart. I get the same thing every time, and it's always this salmon mango roll. Mango salmon roll.
And there's tofu pad thai and chicken pad thai, Heather, from Noodle House.
Also, I'm taking one of these.
I keep losing the
And I'm gonna take
cucumber
a
out of it.
spring roll. Okay.
How to roll.
And there's udon. Oh, there's two. Must have been really hot. There's 2 cups there.
You want a spring roll? They got the sweet and spicy sauce, if you want some of that.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of udon.
I'll open one of these for you. Oh good, you got the one without peanuts, right? So it looks like it has peanuts.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, they usually put
Yeah.
one without and one with.
Oh, this is without.
Yeah, because I got
Okay.
something the other day that had
Yeah.
two different sauces like that.
So don't get food on the question, the Mary.
Well,
Oh, yeah. Oh,
that's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
okay.
There's two of them.
Well, I guess I'll pour from this one.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got a fish cake right on top.
Yeah, I think, do you want a fish
Oh.
cake, Mary?
I don't know.
Because I think there were two in
Oh yeah,
there.
just kind of showing a little fish cake.
I'm just gonna grab this
Thank you.
noodle.
Oh, I don't know.
It broke. Oh well.
Oh wait, that's like a different design fish cake. This is
I'll
what
have to
the
decide.
usual fish cake looks like. There it is.
Oh, thank you.
Get pink
Pink.
for Valentine's Day.
Okay. So should we get the questions on the roll here?
Sure.
And like flick juice at Kip's face.
Oh, she's probably loving it.
Oh no.
So, question number 1. Are you going to watch the Super Bowl? And what food do you make?
Ooh.
You know, we don't normally watch the Super Bowl.
And we don't
we-
normally do anything very special at all.
Yeah, but Super Bowl traditionally always used to be like my birthday weekend kind of thing. But now it's a couple weeks later, or a week later, and
Now it's close to
so when I was in Michigan, I was a huge sports fan. You know, all about the sports, and you know, we would have the whole like appetizer trays and sandwich trays, and we usually get them from someplace else. But yeah, we haven't really done any of that. Now we do turn the Super Bowl on, and it's usually playing in the background, and then we'll come running in and watch the commercials.
The commercials are the best part.
The commercials, and we are gonna watch it tomorrow because, well, you know, it'll be over by the time you see this because you're gonna see this on Monday. But for Valentine's Day,
Yeah.
but yeah, we're excited about the halftime show.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mary's got a bunch of stuff that what did you do at work?
Oh.
She had to they asked questions and you had to give the answers, like
Yeah.
how long the
It was kind
the
of
national
like
anthem would be at the beginning.
Yeah, it was like a little questionnaire thing, and there were I don't know, like 10 or so questions, and there were like two possible answers for each question,
That's
depending on
possible?
like how the Super Bowl goes. And so everyone in my office filled out one of those, and then we turned it in to our HR, and I guess whoever has the closest like correct answers based on how the Super Bowl goes gets prizes, and it sounds like there are a lot of prizes. So one of them was like $100 gift card, and so I was thinking, well, even though I guess hopefully I'm like pretty close on most of them, that would be good. Yeah, one of them was like what color liquid is going to be poured on the winning coach. I think a handful of people.
Oh my gosh!
Usually it's Gatorade, and I think usually it's like blue or red. So a handful of us guessed blue. So we'll see if that was right.
That sounds like fun though.
Yeah. Some of them I
It's
had
different.
no idea. I just guessed.
That's a whole different. You know, I mean, we used to bet, you know, the squares. For the scores.
Oh.
So that was always a thing. Okay, let's get to the real questions here. This is for the girls.
Oh no.
Well, me too. I guess it says, what job did you want to do when you grew up?
Oh.
So,
I
don't know.
I feel like I've been indecisive my whole life. So, I probably wanted to be like a fashion designer, and then like maybe like an archaeologist or something, because like they get to put dinosaur bones together. And then Well, I don't know.
dental hygienist at one time.
Yeah. At one time I had really thought about that because I was like, that seems like a fine job, and then you just have to like clean people's teeth. But then I was like, I don't want to be accidentally bit by people like on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
And from there on, I don't. Well, for a while I wanted to be in some sort of, and I still kind of do want to be in some sort of marketing or film production or photography sort of field where I help come up with like creative ideas, maybe even advertisement. So that's something that I'm still kind of leaning towards, especially with this YouTube stuff. But
Right.
For now, it's just
And I thought
I'm in administration. So
I thought Heather
it is
would
what it
probably
is.
get a job at Universal Productions.
Oh yeah.
Alaska Universal Productions.
Yeah,
You
it
might
was
still want to look into that.
yeah,
He's a very
because
good artist.
for a while, like yeah, there's like all that, but for a little bit, like before. Sorry, I got distracted. The dog licked me.
Watching you.
Before like sort of going into like more middle school age, I actually wanted to be a veterinarian.
Oh yeah.
I really wanted to be a veterinarian because I just loved like animals and like knowing a lot of the veterinarians like up here really do care about them, and occasionally from time to time I did a work study for that where like I got to learn like sort of the ins and outs a bit of it, and you'll actually see like a good number of them like they do take very well care of the animals there, and even like some of the wild ones that people just suddenly like bring in, like at
Yeah.
one point they ended up like somebody like came running in and it was just like, oh, I got like this, like they were talking about an animal that they had in a box that they found on the roadside, and when they brought it in, found out it was a falcon.
Oh jeez.
So they had it in the x-ray room for a while.
Yeah, what she's talking about, she interned with veterinarian
Yeah, that's what I
clinic
said.
in town. Oh, I didn't hear you say that. I
We're
was like,
eating,
this is
so she's not
confusing.
paying attention.
Yeah. Yeah. But as it went down, there was actually one thing that I had that I could have had the option to go for and probably should look into, where during a winter semester that we have up here for college or the university, there was a cinematography thing that I was doing for a while, and the guy said at the end of the whole class for the whole week was that anybody that he had like usually in his classes, he always ended up like hiring straight away for his company.
And it's probably
And
because he
that
knows
was
that he
Alaska
taught them
Universal
everything they need to
Productions,
know.
wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So yeah, I really think she should still look into that. So
Mhm.
you kind of answered the next couple questions. Did you achieve it, and what obstacles were in the way?
Well,
Um,
kind of depends on like.
and did you modify what you wanted to do? If you could do any job, what would you do? If you could do any job.
I honestly feel like nowadays I'd want to be one of those like travel bloggers that like I travel for a living and companies pay me to visit places and I just take videos of it and eat delicious food and have fun. That would be
Yeah.
the dream.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, funny enough, hearing from a coworker, I would like to be a movie writer.
That's something I also wanted to be. Not a movie writer, but I wanted to be a book writer. And just like, you know, stay home and write books and go to cafes and
Mm-hmm.
you never know. One day maybe I could do, if I don't just, you know, get distracted the moment I get home, I can actually like sit down and start writing stuff, because I've been told by various friends and teachers that I am a very good writer. I don't know, maybe that's just them telling me I am. But like I've been told that I could write books, so that might be something fun to do if I just write a book one day. It'd probably be pretty short, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to be a writer. In fact, I was just talking to somebody today, one of the other girls I work with, that I hated English. I hated it because I'm dyslexic and I can't read very well. So it's, you know, I've gotten a whole lot better over the years, and I've read a lot of books, but I can write. So I hated English, but I loved the writing portion, and the writing portions were the upper level classes.
Yeah.
And so by the time I got there, I had this teacher that said, you know, the very first day of class, he had this green marker, and he said, I grade all of my papers in green because I want to slime on your papers. I never give A's. Well, guess who got A's? He gave me A's, and he told me if I ever wanted to get published, that he would publish for me, that he had the, you know, people to do that. And then he said, I had one of the papers that we were supposed to write was a critique. We watched a movie, and I didn't know how to actually I didn't know actually how to critique a movie. So I thought, okay, I'll go look and see, you know, because there were a lot of famous people. I can't remember the names of some of them now, but at the time there were a lot of famous people that critiqued movies, you know, on TV, and and I thought, well, I'll just watch some of these people. Well, then I wrote this paper, and he gave me a B, and I was like, okay, you've been giving me A's all along. Why would you give me a B? I said, I think this is one of the best papers that I've written, you know. And he said, this is not yours. And I said, well, it is. He said, nope, this is plagiarism. You've gotten this from someplace else. And I said, prove it. Prove where I've gotten this from someplace else, because I wrote this and I spent a lot of time on it. And, you know, I worked really hard to make a critique, you know, and he just wouldn't budge. He swore that I had gotten it from someplace else. And so in my defense, I just had to think about it as, okay, if he thought I plagiarized it, then I guess I did really good.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
right?
it was a critique.
If it's not in your words, then
Yeah, right. Okay. Enough. Said, I am also a gamer. So this must be for Heather. What is your favorite game and why?
Oh, that is really hard because I have a very large number of games so far. From, back to the 3DS.
Oh, yeah.
I still have that sitting in my room. The little Pokeball one that you got me.
Oh, yeah.
But most recently, in terms of games, I will say I'm having a blast with Pokemon Legends Arceus. For the fact of, imagine a Pokemon game that you wouldn't think of Pokemon crossed over with a almost, how do I say it? I forgot the name of it again. No, it wasn't. And I know Dark was at the beginning of it.
And we have a Comic-Con to go to next weekend.
Yeah.
There's a big Comic-Con coming here.
But yeah, it's God, I'm I even said it about a bit ago what it reminds me of, because the way the style is. One second. Politely burp in my hand.
You know.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I
countries.
got the name. So Pokemon crossed over with a game by the name of Dark Souls. Which Dark Souls, if anybody at least knows of the franchise, is a lot of not exactly running around and you'll be doing quests, but also you'll end up in various places that you go, you'll run into mini bosses or the big bosses, and no matter what you do, sometimes you end up dying at the end. And so far that's what the feeling has been with this Pokemon game, is that you end up going up against him. At this point, I'm gonna say spoilers, but the game's been out long enough. But there's noble Pokemon that you face, and you have to really focus on the fight, or else you will actually black out.
Oh, geez.
And either you do get the lucky chance of being able to restart from the last spot that you kind of saved-ish, but you could very easily just restart it all over again, which sucks.
Oh no.
If you accidentally press that.
You wouldn't think Pokemon would be that difficult.
I only play Animal Crossing. And that's about it.
So why don't either of you girls drive?
Oh, there's a lot of reasons for that.
I have a very good reason for that compared to you.
Well,
yeah. Heather's is easy. Tell him, Heather.
So I have a lazy eye, which is very difficult to deal with in terms of like even walking sometimes. Where my if I stare at a spot for too long, which a lot of people say like usually you aren't at times, but for me it's very difficult because even if I'm staring at a spot for more than 5 seconds, my right eye will go off. So I'm constantly going to have to be like looking around, and that would not be good for me as a driver.
I mentioned that in another video. It's a condition, and it's where your eyes work independently, kind of like a chameleon. So she's supposed to do exercises, and when she does the exercises, it straightens it out, but she doesn't know. So, but
I was told as a child, but you know me as a child, I was rebellious.
yeah, so she's just afraid.
Me, on the other hand,
She knows how to drive.
I do know how to drive. I've learned in little increments since I was probably like 12. So I do know how to drive. The reason I don't drive is because I feel like I lack experience. And of course, to be driving, you need to just get out and drive. But my mom here,
like today, I've driven probably a million miles or more, just millions of miles. And today is frightening. It was horrifying out there.
But speaking of frightening, she's just terrified to teach me. My older siblings, I have 2 older brothers and a sister, they have ruined her teaching abilities. So I just...
Mostly Faith.
I have not been given the opportunity very often, and her boyfriend has tried to teach me, but then he gets worried about what car I'm going to be driving rather than if I can park properly.
Yeah.
So
every time he tries to teach her how to drive, the next thing you know, there's a car that shows up. Well, this is hers.
And then we sell it.
And then he sells it.
Yeah, or something happens. So we also only have one family car. And so I could drive, but Mom needs it more than I do. And I did drive from here to Delta and back. It was a couple summers ago, just before I turned 21. And I had my permit at the time and everything, but now that I've turned 21, my permit's expired and we just haven't been over to the DMV. All of that stuff's just been put on the back burner. Yeah. And it's not like I can go and just drive anywhere anyway, because we only have the one car, so it's just like, what can you do?
And the other issue is we'd rather get her lessons so they could teach her in this kind of weather.
How to drive on ice. The problem is getting in with anyone.
Yeah, they take 2 to 3 months before you can get in, and then there's usually something that happens in the meantime, and we don't make the appointments. But it would be so much easier if she got in with one of these companies. But there's only 2 in town.
Yeah.
And
they don't do those driving programs for the schools anymore.
No, they don't.
I didn't have that opportunity either. So.
Right. So. Okay, so. Mary's driver's license. Did Mary take driver's ed? Working on it. So these are all, Okay, what are your summer plans? Do you plan to stay in Alaska? So.
Yeah, for the most part.
So for our summer plans, we usually just, take little short trips, weekend trips or whatever around Alaska.
Yeah, I try not to take too much time off of work because I always want to have that saved up time PTO to be able to take trips when big trips and stuff. The problem is, since I just started at my company and stuff, I get a good amount of PTO, but I'm not gonna have a lot to take off, just a week every once in a while, like people who've been working there for like 2 or more years. So
Heather changed
her
Heather changed her hours so that way she has Saturday off, so we can all do stuff together.
Yeah, so our plan is to do a bunch of maybe little summer weekend trips and save up on money and paid time off and all that stuff for maybe bigger trips during the winter.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got a big trip planned for next spring. So we're saving money for that. Yeah. And yes, we plan on staying in Alaska. So I think there's a question that comes up later. So it says, do you all have a favorite original spaghetti recipe? If so, can you please share?
Original spaghetti? I mean, there was that TikTok spaghetti that was really good.
Oh, it is.
I'm like obsessed with it.
Oh, we really like that.
I think we made a Monday Measures video making
We did.
that.
We did because somebody asked what the TikTok spaghetti was, and I put a link underneath there.
And we call it TikTok spaghetti because the social media app that it became very popular on was TikTok. And so someone made this recipe and a bunch of other people saw it and was like, oh, this is a good idea. And they started making it and it just became a trend. So everyone was trying it, but there was a reason for that because it was so good.
Well,
and everyone did it differently.
If you've watched my Monday Measures, you know I modify everything.
Yeah.
So the TikTok trend was cherry tomatoes or grape tomatoes, and then a feta cheese, a big block of feta cheese.
Yeah.
But I use the Boursin cheese because Boursin cheese has we don't know what they're doing.
It looked like her sleeve was getting in these.
Oh.
I'm just gonna move these over here and just
the Boursin cheese already has, garlics or shallots or chives or, so it's got things that you would put in spaghetti sauce already. So you bake it all in the oven and it's really yummy. Really good. So yeah, go look that up. I could actually put the link down below.
Also, when I heard like original spaghetti, for some reason it just made it sound like we're making the noodles.
I know, and that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh my gosh, we should make noodles. They're actually easy.
I want to try.
Noodles are easy. All it is eggs and flour.
I sent Mom a video. I send her random Instagram reels all the time.
All the time.
They're like TikTok videos, but they're on Instagram.
I hear my phone go ding ding, and I'm like, Mary!
But every time she watches them, she thinks they're hilarious or cool. But I sent her one where this woman was in like the back of a restaurant or something, and she had just poured out tons of flour, and then made like a huge, like dip in the middle, and poured in like thousands of eggs.
I know.
And then just made like
100 eggs.
Spaghetti. And I was like, look at this, it looks so good.
But she chopped it all by hand. I thought she was going to run it through a machine. And she chopped it all by hand. And the way she did it was just amazing.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was very cool. So, okay, spaghetti. I'm reading this without my glasses in the dark. Is that cool?
Uh-oh.
So, why did you choose Alaska to move to? It seems like such a hard life there. Well, okay, there's a story behind this actually.
And I think we told this story on the last one.
Yeah, we probably did. Well, I know we did. But I don't know if I actually said when I was in high school. Did I say that? Okay.
Well, you can re-explain it for people who don't want to go back.
Yeah, okay. I'll do a quick version. When I was in high school, I used to carry around this little 3-ring binder, and I had like those little page protectors in there, and I would have all kinds of pictures of, the Yukon and Alaska and mountains and eagles and, and everybody would ask, oh, what are you going to do when you get out of high school? I said, I'm moving to the Yukon, get away from all you people. But that never happened. I really, really wanted to when I graduated from high school. That's when they were doing all those mail order brides and stuff. And Oprah was, hooking up women with Alaskan men and stuff. Yeah, I think that's how she got her start, actually.
What?
Yeah, it was crazy. Okay, we'll have to go look that up.
Okay.
I want to make sure I'm thinking the right thing. I know one of those talk shows was doing that. They were fixing up these women with Alaskan men. So yeah,
This is gonna be a Google search later tonight.
Yeah, it's gonna be a Google
Man,
search.
that would explain why women have so much
But
power
that's
sometimes.
kind of what happened. I ended up finding an Alaskan man, and he brought me here. So
Literally, and your children.
and my children. Yeah. That's actually a cute story. So you want to go look at the last mukbang thing.
Try to link it somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. I'm here. Okay. Favorite thing about living in Alaska? The most challenging thing, and what would you do it all over again?
Favorite thing. Oh gosh, I can't think about I mean, it's beautiful here. That's for one thing.
The
I've lived
beauty
here,
of it. It's just
I've lived here most of my life, so I just when people come here and they're just in awe of everything, I'm like, why?
Just
I mean, I get it, but also at the same time, I see it every day, so it's different for me.
mhm.
Well, I guess what can be a little bit different or change up your daily or on the daily is at least going out on the highway to see the landscapes in certain areas, because it will definitely change a lot through the seasons.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and then the further, driving all the way just from Fairbanks to Anchorage, the trees and the land and everything, it just changes so much
so
between
fast
those,
and so much.
6 to 8 hours. Yeah.
300 miles is, it's a long ways.
And that would
That's
also
that's like if you drove from Michigan to Florida and kind of went towards the coast and went over the Smoky Mountains, and
Yeah, and
it's just so much change in scenery.
When we visited Michigan, it was insane to me because Mom or Faith would be driving and they'd be like, "Hey, Mary, we just passed 4 different cities," and I'd be like,
yeah,
"But it's all connected."
yeah, in a mile,
It was so weird to me because the cities in Alaska are so spread out.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, there's only so many. We have to figure out that too. I wonder how many cities there are in Alaska. There really aren't many for
Yeah.
I mean,
I
big
think
as
it's
the
more
state.
small towns is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
But
Fairbanks used to be considered a small town. Now
There's a
we're
lot of
pretty more into
villages.
a city.
yeah, but I
Yeah.
guess the other funny little thing is that yes, there was the favorite, but also the challenge is the mentioning of driving. Again. It's just driving out there alone can be tedious because there will be a lot of
moose.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
a lot of wildlife, a lot of occasional icy problems going on out there.
Yeah.
So you definitely have to watch out, especially since a lot of trucks are going along down the highway.
And that is why we never travel to Anchorage over the road during the winter. We just don't.
A lot of people just, they've lived here all their lives, or, they're just not afraid of driving, and they zoom back and forth. And, for the most part, DOT does a really good job of keeping the roads clear from here to Anchorage, because there are so many people that go back and forth. But I won't. I do not drive out of town all winter. So
In the
there's
summer, it's
about
easy
7
because
months
it's
out of the
light.
year, I will not leave more than 4 or 5 miles away from home. So that's the challenge. If I go down to Anchorage in the winter, I fly.
Yeah.
or I make my boyfriend drive.
Yep, that too.
Okay, so
Best
activities to do in the winter, and any good places to recommend. Chena Hot Springs.
Oh yeah, Chena Hot Springs is cool in the winter.
Got to do Chena Hot Springs. We've never been there in the winter.
Well, we never actually go during winter because we never think
we
of
don't
it.
drive out of town. So we've never been there in the winter. And I've seen all kinds of videos and people's pictures and all the frozen hair and frozen mustaches and
going in the hot springs and then walking out, or even just sitting in the hot springs if your hair is getting all that moisture, but then it's cold out.
Yeah.
You're gonna get white whiskers
Right.
and tips of hair.
and there's no light pollution out there, so the aurora is amazing.
What are you doing?
So yeah.
No.
So, yeah, and other activities like in town here, there's all kinds. Depends on if you're an outdoor person or an indoor person. There's all kinds of things. There's First Fridays. There's the museums. There's cross country skiing. There's tubing.
Oh, and then when the ice park comes around, I think that actually
We'll be doing
on
that.
Monday.
It opens on Monday. We'll be doing
Yeah.
that. We have videos of that from last year too.
That is definitely cool to go
That's
look at.
a go-to. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of what we do in the winter is like we go and we'll sit in like the Barnes and Noble cafe, and we used to go even just to Fred Meyer's and sit, and they have this upper seating area.
The cafe.
And we just like
sit,
eat
watch,
and talk and people watch and yeah.
Mhm. So, the next question is: do you ever see bears?
Ooh, in Denali, maybe.
Yeah. Usually in Denali you see bears.
Yeah.
Those are big bears. But we did see one time. They're kind of like the moose. They're hard to see in the woods, So that's why people get into trouble, because you sneak up on them. You don't mean to, but
And bears, I think you probably would see more on trails and wooded areas, somewhat like just outside of town, whereas the moose are not afraid to travel through people's backyards.
yeah,
So
or along the highways or whatever.
yeah, so bears usually stay a lot more hidden than the moose do.
Right. Yeah. And
Out in the wilderness.
we do
Yeah.
have a bear story, but
We probably told that too. I don't know.
yeah. So I don't know. I'm not gonna get into that, but if you want to hear that one day,
Should I just
Just
tell
ask.
it? I could tell it really quick.
okay, you tell it. If you could tell it quick, tell
Okay. So we were camping, and I was probably only 10 at the time. And we had just eaten breakfast. Mom had one of those foreman girls, and she was making eggs. Then the camp ranger guy came by, and he was like, oh, someone said that they saw a bear. Just wanted to make sure you guys, didn't see anything or wouldn't get into any trouble. And I think he stayed there for a short time while we were eating breakfast, just to make sure, nothing happened. And
Yeah, he hung around with us because everybody else had left.
yeah.
It was a holiday weekend, and we stayed an extra day.
Yeah, so anyway, I'm trying to tell the story short. I was, at the time I had a black kind of fuzzy sweater. And I was wearing this zip-up sweater, and they had trash cans along the campground, so I had walked a little ways away to throw trash away and came back, and so, once we had heard that story, I think the ranger may have come after that point. But once we heard that story, we were like, oh, maybe they saw Mary because she's kind of small and she had that black sweater on, and maybe if they didn't see very well, they thought something was getting into the trash. Well, after breakfast, we were leaving that day, so we had packed up everything, got into our van that we owned at the time, and we were driving out of the campground, and once we had taken the corner out, this black bear ran in front of our car and just stopped there, and we were like, what? What just happened? What is that? And it kind of stood there and then ran away. And as it was running away, it made this sound throughout the woods. And it was like, what the heck was that? So we were just very glad it didn't decide to join us for breakfast. Yeah, so that's our story. That's it.
It was bad.
Luckily, it didn't decide to eat me. Oh, weird.
Okay, now we all got full. No.
Congratulations.
Heating costs.
Heating costs, yeah. So heating costs vary because of the fuel prices. Now, almost everybody here heats with heating fuel. We use heating oil, diesel gas. Some people heat with propane. Some people heat with wood. Some people heat with coal. But primarily, most people use heating fuel oil. And this year, it's pretty pricey. If you can get it yourself and get over 50 gallons, you get a discount. You can get it for $2.99 a gallon. But you think about that. Most people have at least 500-gallon tanks. And if you fill up a tank, 500 gallons, it's $1,500 or more. You know, so that's a big chunk all at once. And I had no, I don't think last year we had auto delivery. The year before we had auto delivery.
It might have been last year because
Maybe for half of the year.
that winter felt really long and I wasn't working because I graduated a semester early.
Yeah. So the auto delivery, of course, you're paying more, and then you've got the service charge of, you know, somebody coming out to deliver it, but then they'll come out once a month, and you know, you're looking at $1,000 a month. So, which wasn't really bad compared to Michigan. When I was in Michigan and had a house about this size, my fuel bill was pretty high. And that was natural gas. So it depends on what you're doing. You know, a lot of people that heat with wood, that's a project. You know, because you're cutting the wood, you're, you know, stacking the wood. You have to bring it in every day. So, okay, next question. Do you have other children living in Michigan?
You want a noodle?
So how? What are you doing to them?
She's feeding them.
You want a noodle? This is how I fed Kip. No, Kip, you got one. Here, baby.
Oh, can
No.
can you see that on the camera? She's gonna drag it off somewhere. She's gonna get the whole carpet slimy.
If she doesn't eat it, Kip. Eat it, Kippy. You didn't eat it fast enough.
She's a husky. You think she would eat anything? She is so suspicious of everything. She's so funny.
That actually, I will say right now with the pad thai, I did grab like the driest noodle I could find, and like I handed it to her, but she had like the most gentle like kind of bite because she was so unsure. And then when she took it, she was like, "Oh, this is good."
Okay. How do we answer this one, Mary? Do you have other children living in Michigan?
No. I'm just kidding.
Yes?
Okay. Here's the story, because this will answer the next question too.
Oh.
Okay. It says, okay, the next question is, do Faith, Mary, and Heather all have the same dad? So the story is, when I met my ex-husband, Mary and Heather's dad, they do have the same dad. When I married him, he had 2 boys and a daughter. And the 2 boys were 5'7", and the daughter Faith was 13. So Mary and Heather weren't born yet. The boys were 5 and 7. Faith was 13. And then pretty quick I got pregnant with Heather, so she's not too far behind Kyle. Yeah, in age. 6 years, 7 years, I think.
So I'm the youngest.
Yeah. So
I got picked on a lot.
Yeah. So, and Faith does have a different dad. There's a big long story behind there. Faith's mom was my ex-husband's sister's daughter. So if you can follow that. My ex-husband was her uncle, and his wife was her biological aunt. So
Did you say ex-husband's wife's sister's daughter? So the ex-wife of my dad had a sister, and Faith is that daughter to that sister.
Yeah.
So if that makes any sense, it's a very confusing story to tell people.
It is, because she left her at the hospital. She didn't want her. Left her at the hospital. She didn't know how to deal with it. And grandma went to go get her. And at the time, my ex-husband and his first wife, they were told they couldn't have children. So the grandma went and got Faith and said, well, here's your baby. You know, so they took her and they raised her. And I, you know, then they had 2 boys. Isn't that the way it always happens? You know, once you adopt, or, you know,
And you've been told you can't have children, then you have them.
Then you have them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because I was told I could never have children.
Maybe it kind of like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, and then you got faith in the 2 boys and you
Yeah.
had children.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I had children, and then I had my own children.
But
So maybe it awakens some maternal instinct or something.
Right.
The secret path to having a child. That's what it is.
Right.
Adopt a child.
Life used to always tell me, yeah, just get them a kitten, because once they get a kitten, then they get pregnant.
It's like, I mean, I wouldn't be unhappy with a kitten either way. So.
I want a cat.
Okay, there's another one. It says, "How tall are you and Mary?"
I guess I'm not there.
Well, Heather's in between.
So I'm guessing.
So I'm 5'8", Mary's 5'4".
Yep.
So
5'4".
I think Heather's 5'6". Yeah.
I thought it was 7.
I'm
But that's
not
if
sure.
I
You
count
might
my
be
neck being
5'7".
longer. Yeah.
I was 5'10", but I'm losing height really fast.
Growing up, Faith is a lot taller. So growing up, she's the oldest and I'm the youngest, so I got picked on a lot. I was called Short Stack and Shorty and
Short stuff.
yeah. So
Yeah. Okay, and I kind of just told you the age differences between. And it says, "What does Mary do for work?"
oh, what do I do for work? I think I've explained that
Yeah,
briefly.
we've talked about that quite a bit.
I am an administrative assistant in a transportation office. So I'm pretty much a glorified receptionist, is what I've told people.
Glorified.
So it's really just the job title, but I take all the phone calls and I try to figure out who I need to transfer them to, and sometimes if I can help, I do try to help quite a bit because I know that everyone else is like super busy all the time. And I do all of the extra work that everyone else in my office can't do. So my job is, even though I'm the low man on the totem pole, my job is highly important because if I wasn't there, they couldn't get their jobs done. Or they'd be working even more hours than they already do, because dispatch is just like a, oh my gosh, just like a, you live dispatch.
Especially
Once you're in that, you live
nowadays
and
with all
breathe
the
it.
shipping issues and stuff. Yeah.
So, and it's hard to find people. So, you know, when all of COVID started, they lost a lot of people, and so now they're just working with what they have. So, yeah, that's what I do. I work a lot in like Excel, and I save a lot of files, and I do a lot of scanning and printing and all that stuff. And then I have to figure out like what happened to different copies of files if we don't have like proofs of delivery for freight that we've delivered. It's a lot of stuff, random stuff. So
Yeah.
when people are like, "What is your job?" I just look at them and I go, "I do a little bit of everything. I'm just the juggler of all trades in the office."
I laugh at the fact
Whatever they
that
tell me.
when you say like you go like deal with the printer, so I just imagine you just standing there.
I do. I just stand there and I open the thing and I put a paper in and I close it and I just click and I keep I just keep printing stuff. It's like, but I've gotten really fast at it because that's what I do for like at least half of my job during the day.
Funny.
Well, at least you stand instead of being stuck sitting.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh gosh, yeah. You should see me around the office because I have to go to different desks to do different jobs. So I'm like running back and forth all day, and then people are calling my name, and I have to. The moment I sit down, I have to get up, and then once I try to eat lunch, the phone rings, and it's like. But you know, it keeps me busy, so the days go by fast. So I can't complain.
Right. Okay, and the next question is, are you in life going to get married?
Probably not.
I mean, we love each other, but it's not that kind of a relationship. He's like a big brother or an ex-husband or I don't know.
Yeah,
It's hard to explain.
At one point, they were super lovey-dovey, and then you just get into accidents. He's had to have a lot of parts of his body like rebuilt or fixed or rebuilt.
The very first
hips.
accident that he had when I moved here, it was 2 years after I moved here, and he had fractured a couple of vertebrae. He's lucky to be alive.
Honestly, with
So,
all of the accidents he's been
He
in.
told me, go find someone else. And I was like, I don't have time. So I just didn't worry about it. And he's always around.
Yeah, and you
So-
pretty much have that mutual agreement of like that you would at least like still kind of like be with each other, but not essentially married in a way.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm on the market.
Don't mind me licking off the sauce of the chicken, because the dogs have. Well, this one has sensitive belly,
Oh, God.
so I lick off all of the
Yeah.
the sauce,
It's funny.
and then I just give him the plain chicken. So
Yes.
that looks weird to you. It's just me
Because
being me.
being the one that can eat anything, has the iron stomach, is a picky eater. But
The one that has the sensitive stomach
wants
will-
to eat everything, but he throws it up.
It's like, I mean,
Like-
once you get a dog, it's kind of like hard to think that things are gross anymore. It's like taking care of a baby.
It's like having kids.
Yeah, so like, oh my god, they're both resting on my arm. But like, so like, I mean, I fed them food and they've like totally licked all my fingers, and I'm like, I don't want to go wash my hands. I'm just gonna eat my sandwich. I don't
Every
care.
every time like
So it
also
doesn't matter to me anymore.
every time food is also explained between these dogs make me wonder which one is really the purebred.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think
No, they're
either of
both
them are
mutts,
really.
yeah.
Maybe.
Well,
Well, Kip is more.
Kip is a labradoodle, so
Bean's definitely a mutt, but she's
She's-
such a
she's a
sweet
mutt.
one.
she's a pit ski, which she's Alaskan husky, which is a mixture of all kinds of
Oh
dogs.
man,
Which
but she's
I'm
got such pretty colors because
Yeah.
people, when we were walking her as a puppy all the time, they were like, "Oh my god, your dog is so beautiful! Like she has colors that I've never really seen in a husky." so-
Also, with her being a husky, thank God she isn't the kind of husky that makes noises in the middle of the night.
Oh, well,
she does.
like howling?
Yeah,
Oh, she doesn't
like
howl.
screaming, howling.
Yeah.
She lays on my bed next to me, and if I move around too much, she goes. "Wow."
I'm sure you've seen that in some of the videos.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Since we never see your boyfriend, Sherry, is he shy?
Yeah. He just doesn't want to be in the videos.
And where are you going for the next vacation? Yeah, he's made it very apparent he does not want to be in videos.
If we even are holding the camera up, getting ready to film ourselves, and he's standing on the other side of us, but it looks like it's facing him, even though it's like facing us. He'll see it and he'll be like, he'll like walk away very quickly.
Have that kind of face going
Yeah.
right
It's funny because
away.
he'll even be like, "Oh, show this," and then he's like, "Not my face." It's like, okay. So you've probably seen his shoulders down in certain videos.
or feet, or
Yeah,
you
just
know,
or
the
hear
back
his
of his
voice.
head, or hear his voice.
You know, I get that
We
feeling.
sneak him in every once in a while.
Why do I get that feeling he's like that one person that is just like, he shows you all these things, but he's just like, don't really know.
He's like, "Where's Waldo?" in our videos, kind of. You can never really figure out where he is or what he's doing.
That's funny. Okay. Oh, and where are you going on your next vacation? We don't. Well, we're
Yeah, already said it.
gonna go to
People.
Anchorage for Mary's birthday. We always go to Anchorage for Mary's birthday.
Well, this was not confirmed to me.
but we're doing it way early this year because I can't get the time
She went
off.
on the other side of you.
And we have a whole bunch of money in our wallets that we have to use.
Oh,
Otherwise,
that's
it's
why,
just going to
duh.
disappear. So
Oh, I could-
Yeah, it's so funny. I am so forgetful about things, and part of that, I've actually figured out the reason for that. I had an appointment, but it was an online appointment. That was kind of done through like this health kit that we all had the chance to do through my work. So if you did the health kit, then you would get $25 taken off of, I guess, like health insurance costs from your paycheck, or put back into your paycheck, something like that. But I did this, and then it's an online virtual like checkup with your blood test and everything with a nurse once they received the kit back, and they told me that everything looked perfectly great and healthy for my body and stuff. Like I probably just need to lose like 5 pounds, and my omegas were extremely low. So she said eat lots of walnuts and fish and oils. And I was like, oh, so I looked up, what does it mean when your omegas are extremely low? and it said that it can lead to fatigue. And what happened over there? Did I miss something? Anyway, it said fatigue and like memory loss or short-term memory and some other things, and I was like, oh my gosh, these like first 3 things that are listed are things that I always complain about. I'm like, and maybe that's why I crave eggs all the time. Maybe some part of my body just can't retain those omegas very well, and I'm not sure why. But sometimes Mom will say like, we went to Anchorage for your birthday last year, and I'll be like, oh yeah. Like, I forget things too easily, which is why
And that's
the
why
YouTube and stuff
that's why
has
we
helped
have money
document that
in
for
our
me.
wallet, was because we went to Anchorage and they canceled our flight home.
Yeah.
So they put money in our wallet, and then there was something else happened where I got extra money. Did they lose the luggage, or I don't know.
They damaged your luggage. It was really damaged, and they were going to give you. But that was for our Florida trip. They were going to give you a new piece of luggage.
There was some other. We got more money for something else about the same time.
Oh.
I don't know, but it has to be used within a year. So because it's reward money or whatever.
Anyway, like kind of off topic, but kind of what I just talked about. If any of you know like good foods or recipes or just things in general to get the omegas, like let me know, because I try to eat lots of eggs and eat some walnuts and stuff like that, but I'm just forgetful.
Eat your fish
So
oil.
it's a vicious cycle.
Mary,
What?
eat the fish oil.
And see, the only way I like fish normally, I'm a big fan of salmon, but I'm not very big on other fish, and I wish we could eat sushi
Every
salmon
day,
all the
yeah.
time, but it's expensive. So.
Right.
Next time you're falling asleep, be careful. Keep one eye open. I'm gonna throw a fish oil packet at you.
Oh, those things. Something about the artificial orange flavor.
Oh yeah, I haven't been able to find those anywhere anymore.
My best friend in high school used to, every time I pulled that out of my lunch bag, because Mom used to just throw them into my lunch bags, even though I made my own lunch. Every time I pulled that out, she would like watch me. She'd be like, "Oh, I love watching you," and she's like, "It smells so good, but your face is so funny." Because I'd go to take them, they were just these little packets, like this or something, but like much smaller. And I'd go to like slurp it up, and I'd be like, I just could not. I'd take them, but I just hated the taste.
They had an orange flavor.
I think it was just too much orange in my mouth, and then it had this weird oily aftertaste, and it was like, meh.
Yeah.
I just couldn't.
It was called Core Omega.
Yeah, so we got these krill oil pills, which I'm also forgetting to take, so I really just need.
Yeah.
That explains
I have
why
so
I have
many
such a good
alarms on
memory,
my
because
phone, I
I
don't
like
wanna
ate those
add
things
more.
like candy.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, we were having 2 conversations at once.
Yeah. Yeah. Heather was doing good with them.
Yeah, I ate those things.
Actually,
I think
you
that's-
probably need the.
I think that's why I was remembering to take
Omegas,
them, because Heather would grab them out for her lunches, since we went to the same school for like a couple years, and she would throw them at me to put them in my lunch too.
Okay. There's one last question. If you could take a vacation anywhere, totally paid, at no expense to you at all, where would you go?
Oh, let's see what Heather's response is
Yeah.
first.
What's your response?
My response?
We already talked about this.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Where's somewhere you've always wanted to go, but we probably wouldn't be able to afford unless we saved up for like 2 or 3 years.
Or whatever.
Yeah, or just
wherever.
all paid.
All expenses
vacation.
paid. Where would you want to go in the world? Anywhere. Woo! Your nose is cold.
I kind of have an idea of what you might say.
It's actually possibly 2 places, because recently my YouTube has kind of like consisted of a lot of like travel things here and there. And of course, like you guys know for a fact, I'm gonna say Japan, but there's 2 specific places in Japan that you don't know. Which is, I do definitely, like, whenever somebody thinks of Japan, you definitely gotta go to Tokyo, because that's the one place that's gonna be, like, very easy to, like, understand, because a number of things are already translated these days. But the kind of place that you do want to go if you want to go for a more traditional style is going to the countryside of Japan. And there's actually a lot of good places like that. I trying to remember some of the names, but funny enough, there was one video that I came across recently of a sort of like traditional style, like countryside town of Japan, but it's supposed to be like a winter wonderland kind of base thing. So there's like waterways from like, you know how we have Chino Hot Springs up here?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what it's like. There's like all these waterways, there's like very nice restaurants of like very traditional Japanese food. And then there's like even Osen's, I think that's what it's called?
Onsen?
Something.
I think it has an N in there.
And then and like hot springs, pretty much, like all that kind of stuff, you know. But it's
Well, the hot springs are there too.
yeah. But the way this town was, like how it was mostly running was like during winter, so it'd be good.
The only thing that I worry about with going to somewhere like Japan where everyone speaks a different language is, you know, like in Japan they do learn English, but there are a majority of people who just don't speak English regularly. So if I ever win, I definitely want a friend who knows how to speak Japanese, or to hire like a translator to, like, you know, like a travel
They
translator.
got Google Translate now. You can just use your phone.
That too, but I feel like it'd be so much more fun in like a group setting where you have a
Somebody that
couple
can
of
translate,
people
yeah.
who can speak the language, and then they could talk with the, you know, the people that don't know English, who live there and work in shops and stuff, and then, you know, that way it just doesn't seem as awkward.
Yeah,
Right.
which is actually like a really good thing of like, because a number of the videos too, there's like a number of the people where they will have like a translator or like somebody that they know that's doing a lot of the translating, which can actually equal to a lot of fun, especially if you're going to markets and whatnot, because when you're like going to the market, you're just like,
They do a lot
though,
of
like sometimes,
bartering.
yeah, sometimes you don't like understand sometimes, but you still have a blast no matter what.
Yeah. So that's funny, because I thought you would definitely say somewhere in Japan, like Japan Universal Studios or something.
Oh yeah.
She used to talk about that all the time.
Yeah, because Japan Universal, compared to like Universal here, Universal is mostly like what we have, like Jurassic Park,
Yeah,
or
big
like
movie
a number of the more like Western side movie stuff. But Universal Japan
It's all, like,
has
anime.
Yeah, where they're constantly like making new stuff over there, or like changing it up. Like most recently, they actually have Demon Slayer, like a Demon Slayer roller coaster going on there, where it's
geez.
VR.
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah.
So Faith and Mary and I were all sitting there, and I read off this question, and we all looked at each other, and we all said Ireland at the same time. It was so funny.
I don't think I actually said Ireland, but once they said that, I was like, yes.
so yeah, that's like the top of my bucket list.
It just seems so beautiful.
now that I found out I'm, come from an Irish family, and yeah.
And just the food in general, and just it just seems like such a beautiful place to travel. I mean,
Yeah.
I want to go there someday.
Yeah.
That
Like
is
Alaska in the summer.
Yeah, honestly, like that would be so cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny how you all are like Ireland, and I of course have to be the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah, because when I gave Mary, Heather. No, yeah, it was Heather. I gave Heather the option. No, I can't remember what I did. When these guys graduated from high school, I told them they can do a trip. And
I think you asked me, it was my senior year, and I'd been having a super tough year. And you were like, do you want to go to Disneyland or Universal? Something like that. And I was like, Harry Potter World is in Universal.
No, I think it was Heather's, because at the time Heather wanted to go to Disney in Japan.
No, it was Disney. It was just like, it was either the Disney's here, because I don't think we could have gone to Japan at the time.
I think we were just considering
We were considering it, and then, we just didn't have the money, so I tried to talk her into Hawaii, but
we need to go to
Hawaii
Hawaii
was going
someday.
to be really expensive that year.
Let you see.
So we ended up going to the Grand Canyon, which
Yeah, that was
was
cool.
really cool. It was really fun. We took the Grand Canyon Railroad in. And
We got there, and there's like a gift shop, and they've got those. The cool thing about traveling through Arizona, especially near the Grand Canyon, is they have lots of books and gift shops about the people who've died on like Route 66 and ghost stories and all the people who've died in the Grand
ghost
Canyon.
story books.
Yeah, so we walk in the gift shop and I'm like, look, Mom, they got a book on all the deaths in the Grand Canyon. I'm like, that's terrifying, but interesting.
Well, the funny thing was that Life told me before we left, he said, don't fall in.
Well,
and I was like, what? People don't fall in. What are you talking about?
And they do.
And they do.
And the
They've
sad
got
part is,
many deaths every year.
the sad part is we've been told that one of the main causes of death is that people who wear hats should remove their hats if they're worried about losing it from the wind, or tie down their hats around, if they have the ties on them, but to remove their hats and put them in their backpacks because they have an issue with people trying to catch their hats when there's a gust of wind that goes by, and then not looking, they just walk off of the Grand Canyon. So that
or a trip or something.
Yeah, so that's why they have a lot of barriers, but a lot of parts also are just, you could just stand on the edge of doom. So, so they tell you, like, be wary of your step and don't chase after your hat. If your hat goes down the Grand Canyon, just say goodbye.
Right.
Get a new one.
Buy a new hat. Because you can't buy a new person.
Right.
Can't buy a new person.
I mean, they're like legit, the train people were telling us this stuff. That's weird that I remember those types of things, but maybe because it was so weird to me.
Yeah, it's very strange. I wouldn't have thought.
So, you guys think of any last minute questions or things we can add to this video?
I don't think so.
Well, feel free to always ask us questions anyway. We might answer it in a regular video, or maybe we'll just save them up and do a little mukbang again.
Yeah. And because there were so many new people, and we're gaining a lot of new people really quick. So we wanted to kind of refresh everybody's memories, and well, we didn't even really talk about us, huh? Well, just kind of a little bit, but yeah.
Oh, we forgot our Swiss rolls.
No, we'll eat them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the rolls. Yum.
They're really good.
Yeah, that's the Japanese bakery in town.
We went there and they were like wiped out today.
Yeah,
so they
that's
had like
all they
4
had left.
of those left, and we took 3.
Yeah.
But there wasn't anyone else in line, so.
Yeah, and they have cooked food like this too, but they usually have. It's a bakery, so they usually have all kinds of baked goods in there. But Saturday they're closed Sunday, and then they're doing a whole special case of stuff for Monday.
Oh, yeah, we bought a couple extra snacks because we weren't sure if you'd want more dessert.
Oh yeah.
Well, these are for you.
Why, they got nuts in them?
They got peanuts.
Oh, they got peanuts in them. Oh well, I guess just eat them.
Cool.
Happy Valentine's Day.
I wanted to get some of the peach strings. That's what I wanted to try.
Let's grab these and kind of show them a little bit, I guess. So, some mango gummies.
Mango gummies.
Yeah, just little fruit gummies. So these are actually made with real fruit juice.
You've gotten those before, right?
Yeah.
I think you've probably gotten everything over there they have for sweets, huh?
Kinda. It's just those ones I don't grab because, like I mentioned,
I peanuts. They have peanuts.
Yeah, it's like all the way to the bottom.
I
of the bowl.
can't. That's tiny. I can't read
And
that.
then, and then these. Kind of imagine like a little bit more of a Sour Patch Kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought they were like those peach rings. No, they're sour.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, okay. Definitely want to try one.
These guys like sour.
Yeah. See, it says sour
not-
on the back too.
I'm not a fan of sour.
Yeah, but they're little like gummy strands, so of course like it's all over sour, but it does get sweet as you eat it.
Fun. All right, I gotta clean up stuff and get the vlog going because we're gonna do a regular Sunday vlog. You'll see this on Monday.
Oh yeah.
And happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's
and
Day.
welcome to all the new people.
Yeah. Hope you learned a little bit more about us, and maybe it just led to more questions. But feel free to ask more questions.
Yeah, thanks for giving us all the questions. I kind of last minute. Give us some questions.
Funny. The one question that I've heard the most out of all of these is why don't I drive? Or like the fact that I should be driving.
Honestly,
It's funny that
you know, I can understand why people would be worried about that down in the lower 48, but up here in Alaska, there's a lot of people that don't. They don't have their licenses. They, you know, because there's like here in town, there's public transportation that takes you everywhere.
And funny enough, you'll actually see a number of people biking during winter because a lot of people have winter tires for the bikes.
Yeah, they've got the fat tire bikes. Yeah, so a lot of people ride their bikes everywhere because everything's close.
And I used to in college, which sounds like I'm saying a long time ago, but like last year, I used to take the bus like almost every other day because I didn't have certain classes every day, but like I took the bus very, very frequently, and they up until last year,
sometimes twice a day.
Yeah,
I think those days you would just stay up there.
There were days when I had classes that would get out right when the bus was supposed to be leaving the bus station, and I would run from that class to the bus station because it was like a little ways away, but it wasn't that far away. And sometimes my fellow classmates would notice me doing that, and they would be like, "Run, Mary, run!" But
yeah. And then the villages. There's a lot of villages, and you just don't need a car because it's, you know, you can walk from one end to the other of the villages, and they
primarily
snow machines and.
But I definitely want to get my own car and drive one day. That's something I really want to do. More for like just, I guess, to have a little more freedom and to be able to help out more.
Well, and the types of jobs she's going to have, she's going to need to learn how to drive.
Yeah, like even my bosses, like I don't need to know how to drive for my current job, but they want to help me. So they said that, you know, if I do have to take classes, they'll definitely work around the class times and stuff. They're super awesome over there. So when I eventually can get into one of these classes, then I will be able to do that. So that's good to know.
Yeah. Okay, we already said goodbye. So goodbye.
Bye.